Okay. And Elaine, I'll make you co-host and you can record too.
I don't even know. I don't know how to do it.
Okay, Mirantha, if you want, you can record.
Have Mirantha.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm recording.
Someone will have to show me one day because I don't know how to do it at all.
Oh, we'll do it
Okay.
one afternoon. We'll go and use
Okay.
Zoom. Yep.
So we're back at it again. Muhahaha. This is
That's
awesome.
right.
So I'm happy and grateful. I hope the same is true for you, wonderful ladies, and our wonderful audience.
Yes, no, we're good.
Good.
We're doing good. We're just complaining because it's a little cold this morning. 7 degrees here in Australia, which is cold for Australia. So I'm allowed to have a bit of a moan this morning. I did leave my jammies on like promised. I said to him, I'm going to put my cami jammies on. So I did. So I'll start what I asked again, if that's okay. I was doing some light language writing and some codes, ones I've not seen before. And then they came in and announced themselves as the realm of the gods, the Asgard realm. Well, because it is an actual realm, correct? The Asgards. So I don't know a lot about them. I do know that I've had some connections in Lemuria with certain things like that to do with the what's the fork called? It's early in the morning, forgive me. What's the trident? Thank you. The trident. So that's in my bloodline. I know that much. So I don't know if you can explain a little bit more to us what that is. That'd be nice.
One of my aspects, one of the shards of my soul is Odin. So I have a presence amongst them. Well, who are they? The Asgard are ninth dimensional, mostly benevolent beings. And mostly is that, well, nobody is pure good or pure evil. We all make mistakes along the journey as we learn and we evolve. They've had a very, very long-lasting and ancient interaction with humanity. Now, the Asgard are very special in the case that they really, really enjoy combat. And it is important for them to be on the right side. Doesn't matter if they're on the winning side or not. And so you see this reflected in all warrior cultures that they have interacted with, going all the way back to Lemuria and Atlantis, and then in the modern times, let's say 1,000 years back to the present day with the Viking, with the Nordic people. And so valor in combat and righteousness is the emphasis. Now, there's lots of stuff going on that the Asgard did this and did that. Well, they have a modus operandi that they come into human form, in human bodies. They don't claim to be creators or gods. They are very clear about that as they interact with people, that we are other beings. This is our realm. This is our technology. This is our understanding of the cosmos. And guess what? We're having a fight side by side. And so they do perish, and they seem to have had ways or mechanisms of getting out of the incarnation trap. And they also provide this for mighty humans that show valor, bravery. And so they do ascend them, helping them out of this infinite reincarnation cycle by granting them political asylum in their own domain, in Asgard. They may wish to come back in the form of teachers and so on. So their presence coming into you now, well, guess what's going on right now globally? War.
Yeah,
exactly. And so we would have Asgard in human bodies fighting on the battlefield, the front line, many generals, many of those on the side of balance. So I'm not picking sides.
So they're creating
here.
like a divine order of sort type thing? Is it like a divine order that they work under, or is that different again for them?
It's all about balance or divine order.
Yep.
So
Gotcha.
it's important to emphasize that they wish to be on the right side. So there is no good or evil in the most, let's say a mathematical definition. We're all a mix of both polarities. And so sometimes
Yep.
too much light is harmful. They want to force you to paradise.
Yes.
And sometimes too much
Yeah.
darkness is harmful. They want to force everyone into obliteration. That's not good either. So when
Exactly.
balance is needed and
No.
there is a war waging, they show up.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I've only had them once before, so thought it was interesting that they've shown up. And do they work also? Are they very big guardian-looking beings? And
They're
do
they're
they work
tiny.
with the giants?
The
They're tiny, are
giants,
they?
there are different species of giants that they have interacted with.
Okay.
Niflheim, if I'm not mistaken, the frost giants, they're one of the
Mm-hmm.
species they interact with. It seems to be a natural
Right.
set of portals that is available to their homeworld. 9 realms.
Mm-hmm.
Earth is one of them.
Yep.
Their own
Yep.
natural form resembles the gray. So they're skinny and small. But
right.
they are mighty warriors nonetheless through wisdom and technology.
Okay.
But they also have the ability
Yep.
to incarnate in different types of vessel, including human vessels.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very, very interesting. If you wonderful, wonderful ladies agree, let's channel them. Let's bring them in. Let's see what they have to say to us and to our wonderful audience.
That's a good idea.
The mighty Asgard.
Yep.
I love those guys.
Yep.
And so the way they
Okay.
represent their heaven is that you fight all day and drink all night. That's kind of their
God.
energy.
Okay, party on. No worries. And so do they also have certain temples in their order that they are connected to, or they just one collective? Do they have like a family? Because some of the species can have connections to certain temples or certain sound frequency and things like that. Do they work with any of that? Possibly.
They used to have a temple in Uppsala in Sweden that was burnt by the new religion coming in, which was Christianity. They burned the priests too.
Okay.
Going forward in the history, it seems the
Okay.
most recent people that are truly Viking are the Ukrainians. And look at how valiantly they fight. It's a terrible war going on in that part of the world, but nobody on either side of the battlefield has a doubt that these are brave people. So that's the latest
sure.
place, even right now, if you go online and start looking for genuine, let's say, Asgardian artifacts, runes, certain types of bracelets and rings, the ones that really know what they're doing, they're still Ukrainian. And you can still source them. Thank goodness they're not cut off from the international system. But looking at how the Asgard operate, they are the polar opposite of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are narcissistic, crazy bastards. They think that they are better than everyone and we are gods and we have a hand in your creation. In fact, we created you. Well, that's all doo-doo. The Asgard don't do that. They, first of all, come down in a human body. They interact with people. They live amongst them. And so therefore they're very frugal. They're very simple, not much bells and whistles. Their prized possession would be their weapon, a sword or an axe.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
Do they come in like a walk-in would come in, or do they come in a lifetime for a lifetime?
Both. Certain energies could be channeled by seers. All the Asgard are available in that way. So different members of their species could be channeled and brought in, but they also would like to be born, but also in the form of walk-ins with the consent of the human in exchange of energy and wisdom. Certain priest or priestess would allow this energy to use the vessel, and in exchange, the consciousness would be transferred to Asgard, and they would see and learn and interact. So it would be a body swap. They would take the original body of the gray and see what was what.
Mm-hmm.
But they're bringers of
Okay.
wisdom, medicine, agriculture, and most importantly, the technology of the runes. Now, I think it's really worthwhile
Runes.
looking
Okay.
into this. The runes are they're a map of consciousness. Well, we know the entire cosmos is conscious, but it's made for the human. The way our brain understands things is a two-dimensional pictogram. Meaning is represented in a pictogram called a lima. So you hear sound, and that's translated into a 2D picture, and we understand. And then when we want to speak, there's a process of lima selection. We put syntax, grammar, and then music to the speech, and then it is pronounced. So translating complex consciousness into a 2D form is made for humanity. That's their greatest gift.
Okay, so language. Interesting.
So now
So
we have,
perhaps their position coming in at the moment is because of what's going on the planet. Maybe they're walking into some, like you said, the priest and priestesses for the work to go further. Because they're all fighting over land and stargates and God knows what else. Well, obviously technology, knowledge. Maybe it's just time for that exchange. Because like you
Well,
said,
I'm getting the
not
sense to draw, so I
Um,
know that we're.
okay,
tapping in. Yeah.
entering, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So the other aspect.
So yeah, go on. Yep.
So one is the wisdom. So through the runes,
Okay.
divination, rune binds, manifestation, and so on, using that technology, it's the complete form of the tree of life. There are other perverted versions that miss out nodes and branches in the tree of life, which makes it deadly. Practitioners waste their lifetime and reach nothing. They reach nowhere. They come back to the starting point. This is the complete tree of life, giving you access to the infinite cosmos. But beyond that, what I am picking up on is valor. Many of us have Asgard aspects, so we would be Asgardian star seeds. A shard of our soul will be a member of this species, and now is the time to beat our chest and be brave. Not in picking up weapons, not in aggression, but in braveness to shed illusion. The matrix is a prison of the mind, and it takes a great amount of bravery to liberate yourself. Now, that energy is most conducive right now. It's individual, it is non-violent, but it is most powerful and effective once you start seeing the truth and have the valor and braveness to shed the illusion you are free. Then you are free to free others.
Yep. I'll get up. Yeah, well, as you said, there's a lot of how I'm seeing some things, and like I said, I'm happy to be wrong, but some of the things I'm seeing is the interference in the light. There's some interference in the light side a little bit, where there's a little bit of an illusion of everything is okay and everything is reached
Absolutely.
its pinnacle, its point of evolution, and that it's also in a perspective of we are already past what we needed to do. Well, I'm not. If the Asgards are coming in, that's absolutely telling me that what I'm thinking is correct, that it is not. That we've
I
got
agree with you.
quite a way to go. Yeah, and I
As
think
the
the
house
further we
is
go down
burning
that rabbit
down,
hole of perfection,
the house
yeah.
is burning down, and people are sitting with their afternoon tea, smelling the roses. Oh, it's so fine and dandy. No, 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 it's not.
No,
Exactly.
There's an energetic battle being waged, and it is about the destiny of humanity and many, many, many other species, not just in this universe, those that have presence in the human form. The first step before anything can be done, you see, if we're one of the other prisoners sitting in the prison cell talking about the glory of freedom, we're idiots.
That's
You
right.
got to dig the tunnel, get out, gain your freedom, and then others can follow. Otherwise, we're just talking nonsense. That is a
Talking
personal
to
journey.
circles.
Yeah.
It is.
So
I
liberation.
think Mirantha and I have had this conversation.
Yeah, only
Definitely.
day before. Yeah, yesterday, day before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many
Here
times.
we are. Here we
Yeah,
are.
many times.
Let's see.
People think it's that. Yeah,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
please.
Go.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's
That
see if
people think it's all light and they don't see what's going on in front of them.
correct.
No.
It's a scary thing, but this guru said this, that guru said that.
Yes, that's dangerous. You see, that's giving away power, not
Yeah,
just
it
through
is.
fear,
Yeah.
but through being lazy. And this
Yeah,
is,
ignorant.
I'm saying
It's
this
an
in the
ignorance.
most loving way. Liberation and healing is not
absolutely.
easy. It is, in fact, difficult. It is sometimes traumatic and painful as you really see what's been going on. So, therefore, it requires valor. And personally, I think that this is what the Asgard want to awaken in everyone. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, although things are not perfect right now. That is where we're going. But it requires personal strength and liberation. You should not be part of the problem. You achieve that, and that is mighty.
Yep. And I think some of the issue is that, as you said, the problem is when you go into denial and see humanity in a place that it's not, it's like you leave others behind through that denial. So it's like you leave your own brothers and sisters in the mud, basically, and hand them a tissue and go, you'll be okay, don't worry about it, we're all good. Well, sometimes it's really important, even when you're going through your own traumas, your own stuff, that to deny your feeling or the emotion that's placed you in there at that time is extremely unhealthy. It can literally create a delusion within yourself. Sometimes you've got to say, I'm in the shit. I'm in a place I may not like, but that's where I am. And for someone to tell you that, for someone to deny you that place, even though you don't want to be there, but to deny you that is extremely sometimes cold and cruel, I feel. And a lot of people fail in there. A lot of people reach for the impossible, and they tend to go round and round in circles in that place, and you never come out. And then they wonder why that it keeps repeating, and then it keeps repeating, and it's increasing, and it's worse, and they don't understand. So they become disillusioned, and sadness and grief starts to build, and things like that. So
then depression comes, and so many heavy energies.
Depression comes, yeah. So it is a giving away
I
the power
agree
in that
with the
aspect.
points that you are making. And I think first and foremost, any journey of healing, of remembering, enlightenment and evolution starts with the self. Now imagine that denial of emotion is happening for the self, that there's something uneasy inside and we keep denying this. You see, all of us here, we are healers. And we have learned how to heal because we have gone through it. And we have discovered how to heal ourselves. And then the same approach can be used to help others. But first and foremost, self-love. This is a divine rule. All love starts with self-love. All love is self-love. Otherwise, you're in a diminished position, unable to help anyone else. So,
correct.
Let us focus on bringing in a positive message of remembering our braveness, our valor, opening a path of manifestation towards liberation and healing of the self, so we may be in a state and a position then to help many others. If so, it is great. If the only thing we achieve is personal liberation, that is equally valuable. We're not part of the problem. Everybody has the responsibility and the sacred duty to do this for themselves. Every now and again, we are lucky. We find a piece of clean, correct information that will point us in the right direction, but we still have to go. We still have to climb the mountain. We have to go through the process of
Yep.
purging the shadow, of integrating, of healing.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
Elaine, you're already busy, yes? Drawing. Wow, amazing. Yes, that's Asgard. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
going to draw some runes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I was
Opening
going to say,
message.
draw some
We can
runes.
draw,
Yeah, that'll
we
be
can
good.
create a number of sigils. So I use the runes for creation of a rune bind or sigil of power. Let's see what the first message coming in is. This one wants to come. Yes. Okay. This is Hagalaz. This is the energy of the storm, the cleansing storm, forces beyond human control, the tower, bringing down what doesn't serve you, so you have a clean foundation to build that which does serve you. So this is the first energy. This one, which one is it? Is it this one? No, it's this one. Okay. Healing. This is Laguz. This is elemental water. Healing, renewal, rejuvenation. So after the storm, we have healing. This is good. And so the next one that wants to come, is it this one? Yes. And Gebo. There is a gift. So after the storm cleanses and you heal, there is a gift coming in. Let's create a sigil with this. I could probably tilt down my camera so everybody can see what I'm doing. There we go. So here we got the runes. Let's create a sigil or rune bind, passing through the cleansing storm, healing, and receiving our birthright or gift, the gift that is our valor. So this is all now energy that is connected. We're in the zone, so to speak. So let's do this, starting with the Hagalaz, the cleansing storm and forces beyond human control, the divine giving us a helping hand in bringing down that which is on a faulty foundation. This results in powerful healing and renewal, rejuvenation and growth. And then the gifts can come in. While we are bound and weighed down by trauma, before the healing, the gifts have no space to enter. And so it is important to heal, creating the sigil of power, a balanced graphical form, no matter from what dimension or domain it is observed, it is balanced and it is a stable balance. So this is the complete tree of life. Wink, wink to those who know. This is what the whole thing was meant to be, but it got perverted and distorted throughout history, especially after the last ice age. So we can bring in the energy of the Hagalaz, going through the cleansing storm. We bring in the energy of healing on the other side of the tree of life. Now we bring in the energy of healing. And finally, we open up the doors to receive our gifts, the gifts that are our birthright. Beautiful. And so let's complete the pillars of the tree of life. So there are lots of conditions, especially for publishing videos on YouTube, Is this for entertainment purposes? Well, no. This is an application of the runes. It is sigil magic. It is a rune bind, and so thus it is the real deal. There's nothing here for entertainment. We are setting things into motion, and so therefore there is always free will. If this energy of cleansing, healing, and bringing in your gifts is aligned with your highest soul purpose and highest good, and if you consciously agree to receiving it, may it be yours. So, this is our sigil of power, bringing in the cleansing storm, healing, and the awakening of gifts. So, Elaine, can you kindly just hold up what you are getting intuitively? So you see the parallelogram, the angled shape. So if you just, I'll hold it in the way that's now aligned with yours. You see there's a distinct style that is associated with the Asgard. You see the parallelograms, the shapes that you have here, the angles, the nodes
Yeah, they're
and
very
branches.
unique.
Very unique. This is coming in from this species. They're benevolent and they are absolutely no nonsense.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow. Awesome. So they gave me they were talking while you were drawing. That's why I muted so that I wasn't coming in on your work. They were chanting some sort of prayer of some sort, obviously the prayer of Valor, but they also gave I don't know if you can see it on mine. Probably have to turn the background off to see that.
Yes.
They gave what would you call it? They gave something, some sort of note or symbol. If I can bring it in. You see that? I don't know if you can see it because it's in green.
Move to your left.
I'll go over it in a black pen. Maybe it'll come up better.
It was just off screen.
Oh, was that? Hang on.
So what you have
I don't
drawn,
know if they.
it's an interpretation of the Asgard cuneiform, and you are accessing this through your elven aspect. So that's the closest
Okay.
thing you have to understanding Asgard. If you hold it up,
Okay.
we have the upward pointing arrow, which is now pointing down. So that's upside down. Turn it around upside down.
Oh,
There we go. The upward arrow is Tiwaz. Tyr is coming in. Tyr is a representative of justice. The curved shape S is Sowilo, which is victory. Victory, justice, and then that little squiggle at the bottom is the Kenaz, which is the torch. So what you have got is it's three runes coming out. You've got justice, victory, and enlightenment.
just. So it sort
So
of
I'm going
came
to
in
use,
like not a prayer, but a chant or something.
is there any way that you could approximate it with your own voice? Or you think that would not be possible?
Yep, no, that's fine. They're using they're like repeating. Is there a well, that's the Fibonacci. That's just I don't know if there's a spiral of words coming in like spiral aspect where it's coming round and round and then coming in and returning. So it's like one chant of sorts. Oteri ohan inileta mo ale neia lohan ase la hoa la ma eten. I'm talking about attaining. So maybe it's attaining victory. Attain, to attain. And they're really strong. Like their energy is not like galactics or anything else I've channeled. It's very focused, very strong, and very sure of itself. Naha mahete so at nesik at hapan neset mokoya lahafa atain nese nahoy ta'ala me'ina nalet isi kohan Allah. Let who have eyes to see. They're calling their own kind. It's
Hoorah!
a chant of sorts to call forward, calling their own kind. So they're coming in. They're definitely coming in. So
I'm
they will
getting
be
goosebumps
seeking,
all
like you said,
over.
either those who are them or those that are going to be
Mm.
walk-ins for.
Same,
No doubt about it. Yeah, I
same.
can feel them. Because they're in a group. There's just like they're all together in a group.
It's
What
the
else?
clarion call. It's the wake-up call for the Asgard star
Is that
seeds.
clarion?
It's awakening that aspect that has been sleeping. So let's bring in the justice in the new sigil of power for the Asgard star seeds to take one glance at this and to be awakened to their mighty braveness and their zest for justice and balance. And then Sowilo, let's bring in victory. So that's the outcome of this braveness, that valor demonstrated in action towards the mighty self, first and foremost.
Sword. You said they use technology. Do they use anything like a sword-looking technology?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, spot on.
It looks like energy. It's conscious, alive. It's like a lot of power in it.
The weapons the
Interesting.
Asgard use contain a soul. So they're not just technology, it is a living, sentient being that wills to be an ally with its wielder. It has its own consciousness, and that's something unique about the Asgard weapons. You can't just pick it up and use it. It must find you worthy. That is the source of many legends, like the sword wielded by King Arthur. That was an Asgardian piece of technology. And so it doesn't just cut, it communicates with the cosmos, brings in forces of nature. So it's like having a magical being working with you. And so now this is that which you brought in, Mirantha. This is the sigil resulting from justice, victory, and insight. So this is the activation. This is the sigil of activation for Asgard, star seeds, walk-ins, and those who channel, those who are communicating with these benevolent warriors of divine balance and justice. Justice, Tiwaz, Sowilo, victory, and Kenaz, the torch, the insight, that which sheds and breaks down the shadow. When you have the torch, shadow runs. So this is the mechanism of the victory. So let's go back to the other aspect. Here we are. I'll just hold this. For those who find this agreeable towards their highest good, if it is so, may you receive the blessings and the magic of justice, victory, and enlightenment. Good, so we've got 2 sigils of power.
It looks like they're working in a did you say there were 9D, did you? They're working at their dimension. They're shifting their
Yes.
dimension as well.
So they are in
Wow.
terms of evolution and refinement, they're equal to the Arcturians.
Right.
The Arcturians are more passive. They don't wish to really get their hands dirty. The Arcturians are heavy on knowledge and healing and enlightenment. But the Asgard, they don't mind, in addition to that good stuff, to come down in a human body and kick some butt. So they're active.
Yeah.
They're yes.
We need that right now.
I believe so. I love the Asgard. They know how to party.
They're calling themselves the Mighty Mind. The Mighty Minds. I'm like, fair enough. At least they know who they are. I like that. I like the strength.
Do you know what they call you?
Go on.
You're a member of those of the flying mind. And then throughout history, the priests and priestesses that had this title and rank would wear helmets with wings. People of the flying mind. You're a seer.
Wow.
I wonder, is that right? Oh, yes, it's probably right.
Oh, it'll be right. You think? You think? It's funny that this might all collaborate. You know how things can happen way back and say can take 12 months or 2 years, and then things come in again after that, and you have a little sequence of events. I'll share a really weird dream thing I had. I told Elaine when I first met her. I'll keep it really quick. I was taken in dream state into a cave that was full of a crystal-looking environment. It was definitely not of the earth. And then I was walking through and I was actually talking to Elaine. I was picking up bits of shards of things while I was there. And then I looked to my right-hand side and there was this massive crystal stone-looking thing, and it had a device, like a sword type. This is why I was asking about this, guys, a sword type thing in it. Now, I said to Elaine, why is no one seeing that? Why is everybody walking past that? Why is no one taking notice of that? It seems important. So I walked over and I stood near it and I could feel it was familiar, like it knew me, I knew it. And I was like, I wonder what that is. So I went to go over and I had this feeling of grabbing hold of the sword, which was sitting in this massive crystal stone. And I went, no, there's no way that I'd pull that out of there. That's like old history stuff, bit of the King Arthur idea. And I was still looking at these people walking past and nobody was interested. I went, how could you not be interested in something so beautiful and so incredible? So I walked over, hand on heart, and I put my hand on it and it made a vibrational sound and I pulled it out of the stone. So when I saw their little sword thingy, it kind of reminded me a little bit of that, just the way it looked and the tone and the concept of it. And I remember pulling that out of and I made a little joke to myself in my dream. I was like, oh, go on, King Arthur, off you go type stuff. Trust me. And so I pulled it out and it felt like I was home. It felt like it belonged to me. So when I asked you about these guys here, I went, my God, that's very similar to what they're using. So I feel like I may have been around them before, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because at the time I couldn't figure out how far that went. This is a few years ago, at least 2 years ago. It must be in between there, 1.5 2 years. And I was like, that's familiar. It's like a memory. Interesting.
There are different types of weapon that they make. It's a living being. It has a soul and it has a will.
Yep.
And it absolutely chooses who it wishes to work with. It just doesn't accept anybody. So you have to fit the criteria. And so if you have those qualities, correct intentions, wielding the weapon towards balance and justice when it is needed, then it absolutely works with you. And so that is a soul bond. So you can look at that weapon as a soulmate. So memories of soulmates are eternal. you recognize them,
Mm.
even if it's not in
Yeah, you
physical
do.
form. Usually, at this level of vibration that we are in now, the density that the collective is in, most of these weapons, they do not manifest into physical form anymore. They're purely energetic.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
Mine is a
Wow.
staff called Kiazu the Magnificent. It found its way through a client, and it was stuck in her solar plexus.
Wow.
Somebody had stolen it, used it, it didn't work out right, injured the poor lady, and it came back, and I recognized, oh, this is mine. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Now that is the weapon
Wow.
I use for a lot of energetic work, one
Yep.
of them. But yes,
Yep.
these are amazing things. So probably the gifts, now that you're guided towards this, the gift would be reconnecting with that soulmate, which
Yep.
is this conscious, sentient instrument of balance, a weapon.
Yep. Yep. So it would like it's like an awakening, is it? When pretty much when that stuff returns, it's like pieces of your awakening,
Oh
really,
yeah,
isn't it? So
yeah. The kenas, the torch that we
yep.
have here, that's the insight and awakening.
Okay.
Hey, beautiful.
Awesome. Awesome, eh? So you never know. We get together and we're talking about cheesecakes and pancakes, and it just all
And
goes
then
this way.
suddenly the
Something comes
Asgard
in,
show up, and
and
yep.
then the Asgard show up, and the party begins. So
Oh yeah.
nice.
Elaine, can we have an update? Let's see. Top open portal, bringing in codes, affecting the crystalline level of the light body. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different lines on the other side of the page on the top, 5 dimensions affecting humanity from the 5D. So this would be an event in the dream time, dimension 5. Now moving down towards the center of the page, we've got Earth. Earth is part of this activation. So there is shielding from parasitic noise or energy of distortion and uncreation. Through this shielding, the healing and awakening can reoccur. So the left side on the screen and the bottom is describing the energy of distortion. Um, Again, the mechanism of shielding is shown with the trapezoidal shapes. So yes, shielding of the mighty human, the 5D aspect of the human, but also the 5D aspect of the planet. We only need a short amount of time to heal and awaken, and once that occurs, we are immune to the noise or the mind control or the energetic shackles.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Awesome. We were talking when we were doing our mission work the day before about into Gaia and things like that. There was some things there that needed work and things, so we may even do some more yet. But yeah, Gaia definitely came up in the last few days. Something to do with the evolution of the inner self, the inner Earth Gaia part. To do with where there was something to do with the speed and rotation and the energy that's coming out of there. What am I getting? It's almost like they're attempting another, which I got this a while ago, another reset, another way to entrap the earth and bring the spiral of return, which is not good. So as far as I know, there shouldn't be another reset at this time, but that's what they're attempting to do. So they're attempting to recreate a past timeline that was the problem to start with. So there's been a lot of work that Elaine and I together even have been brought in to do with some of that stuff at the moment. So yeah, seems to be a lot of go on.
The brilliant thing is that even one human being who knows what they're doing can stop the whole thing.
That's right. Exactly.
It doesn't take massive numbers. One will
No.
hold back the flood.
Yeah,
And
just awareness is the key. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So that consider that done. But it's interesting that in support of what you did, more benevolent beings are coming in. This time it's the Asgard. Oh boy,
Nice.
this is going to be so much fun because these guys,
This is the
they
rock and
don't hold
roll.
back. Oh yeah,
This is the rock and roll stage. Look out.
yes,
So yeah, mighty strength, all right. They're amazing. Because I've only ever heard of them once before, and another gentleman spoke of that in one of his workings. But yeah, I didn't know a lot about them. But for them to come in this morning was adamant. They were adamant to come. So interesting. Wow. I'm sure they'll have more to say over the day. I'll keep my ear out, but yeah,
oh yeah.
because there's so many of them. It's not as if one or two are coming through. It's like when they were talking, it's like masses
Yes.
and masses of returning. So nice. The only other thing that we got, I was thinking, what else did we get the last couple of days, is to do with the blue star. There's some sort of energy activation opening of the blue star. That's not just serious though, is it? Because there was also in the last 2 years a returning of the northern or Bethlehem star. So there's a few things going on out there as well, not just on Earth, like new timelines of some sort for a reason. So I don't know if you are aware of any of that, what that return is about.
So there are cyclical events that are roughly occurring at the same time as the availability of energies that are conducive to awakening or enlightenment or evolution.
Yep.
Now, these come and go over and over and over and over again periodically. And so the availability of these energies, it doesn't make any difference in the fact that if you are unaware, you miss them.
Yeah, you do.
And so now these becoming available, granted that many, many mighty humans are reaching that level of awareness, means that they can take advantage of these energies that are in sync with the appearance and disappearance of certain portals or celestial, let's say, bodies, planets, stars, cycles of motion, the whole galaxy, the whole solar system, but then also the Earth around the sun. So that's the foundation of the zodiac and astrology, being aware of the correspondence between certain cyclical events and then the availability of certain types of energy, which may be helpful or maybe not so helpful, represented in karmic cycles, for example, within the boundaries of one galaxy.
Right.
So certain alignments happen every so often. Turns out certain energies also are available so often. So this I take as a positive sign that there are good things available to us. Now, however, there is something that I like to call ascending the zodiac,
Yeah, I was
meaning,
just going to ask you, is it possible to ascend out of the zodiac? That was
yes,
my next question.
yep,
Yeah.
ascending the zodiac. If you are born under a certain, let's say, combination of energies, if you do no work whatsoever and remain in ignorance, then these patterns predict with a good level of accuracy karmic cycles that will be presented to you. However, as you change, you're no longer bound by those restrictions. And then there is a state where you are completely free, meaning that it doesn't matter what energy comes and goes, you're the one setting the tone. And that is the idea, meaning that something, a portal is closed, no problem, you open it.
That's right. Yeah, because Elaine and I were talking about mainly, if a lot of the time it's because of what we're going through on our personally ourselves. And I've had this, they've been talking to me for so long about the outgrowing, so evolving past so many things. And for me, myself personally, and it's not for everybody, it's just where I'm at the moment, is that I'm finding I'm not connected to any of that sort of stuff whatsoever. It doesn't affect me at all. It's not even relevant. So I don't feel it. I'm not generally a part of even the major timeline events of certain things. I don't feel involved, or it even comes into my timeline whatsoever. So we were talking the other day about the possibility that in time that each individual will outgrow or evolve past that as well. Because otherwise it kind of keeps us, like you said, it keeps us trapped in the complete returning of that belief system. So therefore we don't find ourselves fully. Our soul
So
is not
observing
fully
it
empowered
opposed to being in it.
in it. Yeah. So
That's
the
it. Yeah.
observer. Yeah, we were talking about that this week too.
But on a different level.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Because I've been asked many times, because I'm an Aquarius, that's what my apparent note is, but I don't relate to it. I see myself as all sorts of things in many levels. So I don't find that particular zodiac energy or whatever else that is spoken of really is relevant to me. I feel that it kind of gets in the way, because then if I want to learn something or evolve past something, if I rely on the fact of what my nature came in as, then I'm getting in the way of my own evolution.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yes.
So
You can manifest the most beautiful things in a time that is supposed to be terrible. You see, you're the one in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
These things come and go. It's like a wavy ocean. You've got a pillar of stability, and you observe the waves going up and down. You're not thrown around like a piece of hay floating on the surface. Of course, you observe what's going on, but you are your own reference. And so this is what you have. You see the cycles coming and going, but it really has no relevance or effect
impact
or energy.
No, not at all.
That is that state of being free of it. So you have most certainly ascended the zodiac. That's the outcome. And so you wish to create beauty. You create beauty. It doesn't matter what planet is and where and what's linked in what.
No. Well, I don't want to give my soul power away to anything at all, because otherwise I'm going to stay here, and that's not my plan. So it's necessary for me to not be locked into anything. So yeah, that's just how it is for me. Others are still working their way to their understanding, but for myself personally, I don't feel it's relevant. I feel that I've probably done that anyway, but it's just, for me, I have this great innate divinity of nothing can be within me but me. My soul
Beautiful.
is it, and I must stay there in order for me to keep moving forward. As you read for me a little while ago, where I will eventually go, it is very important for me to not be attached to many things. So, and that is the releasing of the karmic cycles, really, isn't it? Not to have attachment to as much as possible. You can have joys, you can have beliefs, you can have learning that's not in the forefront. I think it's eventually you have to find your own way. And that's frightening for some people, because, not to be able to rely on something to support you when you're just thinking for yourself, it can be a frightening feeling, because you feel alone. So, but once you realize that your soul is in the forefront and that you're never alone and you're loved like that, well, then that's when the journey really begins. That's when you really find your way. It did for me. That's how it happened for me personally. I'm not everybody, I'm me. So I just find that, no matter what I do in my work, no matter what I follow, it's only of the soul's self and divinity, so source. That's my goal. My goal, as I've always said, is to stay forward. So yeah, Elaine and I are talking about it many times, but even just the other day, we're talking about the evolving past, the things that have brought us in here, so that we can move forward and become more. So yeah. Just wondering, because everyone has different opinions. I'm not here to enforce my opinion. It's just where I'm at personally. So
but I do find it time to share opinions.
I feel so.
Not keep quiet. And that means everyone. And I'm not just talking about you.
Yep. I agree.
What really comes in and what people are really connecting to, not all this fluff, whatever all this nonsense is.
Yeah.
I
It's getting in the way.
can't even, I don't even have the words because I cannot even identify with it to even have the vocabulary for this genre of whatever it is.
Well, it's causing a lot of disharmony. It's causing a lot
Yes,
of division. That's the
absolutely.
problem.
That's what it causes.
Yeah. A lot
And
of
we're all
division.
supposed to be coming
Uh,
together.
Yeah.
there's many ways to cause conflict, and that is looking at aspects of identity that
Yep.
make us different. So one of the most popular things which gets hundreds of millions of views on YouTube is men do this, women do this. That's the most fundamental way of dividing us, divide and conquer. And
Yeah, for
if
sure.
you're not careful, it brings you to passion or to rage. You see, these
Yeah.
properties that are the boundaries of our identity are what keep us imprisoned. And
Yeah.
so you talked about release. The greatest release is the release of identity, that ego
For
death.
sure. Absolutely.
And it causes fear.
Mm.
Me? Am I going to be gone? Oh yes, you better believe it.
Mm-hmm.
So what remains of you? It's that aspect of the beloved source that animates this meat suit to begin with.
Yep.
What do we keep when you go into the Akashic records? What you really remember is moments of valor, bravery, peaks of emotion and love and joy. You don't remember hardship. That's low vibration. That's not what we came here for. You remember
No.
the profound things, those moments that make an entire lifetime worthwhile. And
Yep.
so beyond that, we shouldn't cling on to anything.
No.
And so that evokes a lot of fear because people think that, let's say, the event of physical death is total death. That is not correct.
No, it's definitely not.
So shedding aspects of identity, ego death, that is the way out.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm being drawn to bring this up, and I don't usually, but I'm going to, is a great example of what you're talking about right now is something that happened to me 30 whatever years ago. And I was literally bashed in the face and strangled to death. So I had a near-death experience, saw myself above my body, then saw the whole thing. Did not see light, so I don't know about all the follow the light thing. I don't buy into all that either. But what it did was everyone thinks like, oh my God, that's the most horrible thing that's ever happened. And I'm like, no, it's not. That was the most awesome thing that ever happened because it showed me what I am. It showed me where I'm from. It showed me what I'm here to do. So people always focus on the negative out of any situation. I don't care how horrible it is. There is positive, and you're to focus on the positive. That's where the learning is. That's where the expansion is. That's where the joy is. That's where the love is. I don't care how negative the situation is. It doesn't matter. So that's where my perspective is from. That's where I come from in anything I do. Any drawing, any healing, anything. There's no bad. You just stay here.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know? So that's the truth of it. It is what you make of it. It does not matter what happens. It doesn't matter what someone's saying. It doesn't matter. None of it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting. It just came to me while you were saying that. And I thought,
Beautiful. Beautifully said.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the truth of the matter.
The thing is that different cultures throughout time, they've come to the same fundamental truth and they describe it in different ways. They come up with different modalities to kind of drill this into your mind that, okay, mighty human, this is how you get out. It's the same way you got in. That illusory identity that you are, let's say, a male or female, certain age, certain race, certain religion, these are all boundaries of prison that are getting smaller and smaller with all these properties. They're the nature of the prison. As long as you hold these boundaries, you will never reach your true form.
No.
So we have to get out of our own way.
Yes,
We do.
that is exactly it. And believing what everybody else is saying instead of turning inside and listening to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, sitting still long enough and quiet enough to hear, to see, to observe anything. Everyone's just so busy.
Yeah.
And that's what prevents it. It's that simple.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That initiation. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you said about not seeing that light tunnel. My husband didn't either. When he died and he came back. I keep saying silly buggy, and he came back for pudding. But anyway, I said, there's your chance, you know. But anyway, he didn't see the light tunnel either. And I've heard a few other things, which maybe that's not a topic for another time, but about the illusion of the light tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Don't go to the light.
The tunnel is a trap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the light goes to a ship, and you find yourself in a little tank.
Run.
Yep.
This is the old system, right? This is the sabotaged and infiltrated incarnation trap. Run down ancient tech, being running for probably 250,000 years, low maintenance. The place is filthy, and you've got a number of beings pretending to be some deity, depending on your belief system. So
That's
if
right.
you go into the light and find yourself in a tank, just explode the ship, please, because that is quite in the realm of your capability. Just blow the whole damn thing up. Do everybody a favor.
Exactly.
Mm.
Well, they told me to go to the left-hand side of the cosmos. That's what their joke was to me one evening. When you do, don't go here, because you're no longer attached to these anyway. You don't believe it. That's correct, I said. They said, go to the left. And I heard another gentleman had a near-death experience. They said the same thing to him. Go to the left, go out to the cosmos. They even told him which star and things like that. Don't go there. That's a trap. Go out here. And I was like, oh my God. It just blew my mind that someone else had heard the same thing I had heard. So yeah, go on, show us. Yeah,
funny.
were you finished? Yeah.
I'm
trying to make sure you can see all of it. Yeah.
So hold it a little bit further back.
And I'll have to move.
Yeah, there we go. Energy of shielding and protection for the mighty human and our beloved Mother Gaia.
So this is a very different drawing, I'll say.
Very different.
That's sort of different.
Wow. Are they ever?
Yes, they are. I feel different. Yeah. But I'll send you a picture of this if you want to post this with whatever you do. You're more than welcome to.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
My wonderful friends, shall we slowly bring it to a close? I think we achieved what we set out to do. Sweet and short, or short and sweet. Not necessarily in that sequence.
I wish you wouldn't talk about me like that. I wish you wouldn't talk about me like that all the time. I am very short and sweet.
And also mighty.
That's right.
And also mighty. Also mighty.
Dun, 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 dun.
Who's the little doggo? He's licking.
I've got.
So you must be sweet.
I've got two. I must be. That is Isabella, commonly known as Izzy Beer, and she's just woken up because she's like, "Where the heck have you been since 5 a.m.?" It's just like, "What's going on?" This is my Velcro doggy. She's either got to have a paw on me. She's got to be touching all the time. She's just that type of baby. So I've got two. The other one's Fluffy, but this is my Velcro. I call her. It's always together. Always. She's the love bug. Yep.
Amazing.
It's too early. Yeah. Well, that was an unexpected event. We didn't realize it was even going to go that way, but it was really cool.
That's how
really
the best
awesome.
parties start. We
Right.
had no idea
Always.
it was going to go that way, but then
Well, we brung pancakes, so we knew it was going to go somewhere.
it
For
was
sure.
going to go.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Jammies and pancakes.
Jammies and pancakes.
Jammies? Yep. Told you I was going to wear my jammies. You didn't believe me, did you?
No,
Got my
but you
jammies on.
did, so I'm
But I did.
impressed.
I always
Good.
stick to my word.
My word.
My word.
Well, I think we did the subject justice, and all of us will remain open to the Asgard.
For
I
sure.
think we earned some favor amongst them
Nice.
by bringing their message into human language and presenting it in this way. Anything and everything for the greatest good of the mighty humans and our beloved Earth.
Always.
Yes.
Always. Maybe our next time we'll go into the Gaia side of it and see if there's anything we can do there. Because I think that's coming up very strongly right now.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Agreed. Well, to be continued.
All
To be
right.
continued. All right, rock on.
Yep. Have a wonderful,
And
wonderful morning or evening or day or night,
morning for
whatever it
me.
may be.
Yep.
And
Finish
many
this.
blessings to you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Talk to you
Take care
later.
of yourself.
Bye now.
Bye bye.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye bye.